Hey guys, you ever try to take off a mushroom emergency switch? You know, those things that are impossible to take off? Well, today I'm going to show you how to do that, and I've actually got a few of the common kinds for your CO2 lasers. These mushroom switches are on routers, they're on flatbed printers, they're on all kinds of stuff. And I've got three here actually, and we'll go show you there, and I'll tell you which one's my favorite ones and why that is. Stay tuned. Alright, so here is some emergency switches. Three different kinds that I've come across here lately. There's one more kind that I currently have in my machines. I don't have that, I can't show it, but that one's pretty self-explanatory. So the first one, this came in my let's see, this came in my cheap Chinese, I think it's a 60 watt CO2 laser that I purchased off eBay for like $1,500, and they put in a little switch here. These are like $5, and well, that one has, here you can get a close-up of it. What you're seeing on the top is this, and then underneath of it is this here, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. I have this little doodad here, which is missing the little yellow emergency switch thing. Actually, it's right here. So you can get close up with that one. We'll show you how to take this one on and off. And then I got this little guy here. This little guy here. So I've tried maybe, I don't know, a dozen different kinds, half dozen different kinds of emergency switches, and I'll show you which one's my favorite here in a bit. But let's go over this one. This is a double pull. So this one, we'll turn on this half. It will disconnect this half from this half at the same time. So these are normally off or normally open circuits when the emergency switch is in the, this is the off position, that's the on position when it's up. So, you know, off, on when it's off. And now these are when it's in the up position. These are normally open, or I'm sorry, closed. So these are making contact with these over here. It's not these going over here, but across. All these I've come across work. So this one is probably the easiest one to take off. So what this one is, you just unthread the top here. This just unthreads. And you just continue unthreading. Okay, there we go. And then you have something like this. So if you have this style here, so it just takes this threaded nut, threads on, okay? Your machine steel is at the top of the switch here, and then this threads down to clamp onto the machine steel like this. Then you put your emergency thing here between those. This part goes on, it's for looks. Ooh, pretty. And then this part threads on. My apologies, this part threads on. Right here. Concentrate, Jay. You can do it. Okay. So something like that. So we got off, and then on, off, and then on. The machines I have, I've had probably 6 CO2 lasers in my possession. They've all worked the same way. That's their, both sides are normally closed when it's in the on position, normally open in the off position. So when it's in the off position, it breaks the connection from here to here. That's how all these are working, all these are set up. And even my 220 volt versions that I have, and my 120 volt or 110 volt versions that I have work this way. 110 versions, some of them are just running the hot leg and ignoring ground wire and keeping ground always hooked up. Some of them have the hot and the ground in here, but regardless, as long as you're hooking up the same wire to the same terminals and you have the correct switch, you'll be fine. Now, a word of caution on these, when you are messing with your emergency switch, they come in normally before your power switch, so there's always power to these, even if your power switch is off. So just unplug your machine. So make sure your machine's unplugged and then your power, you shouldn't have power to these, and it's safe to go ahead and, you know, unthread the top, unthread the chrome piece, which makes the switch pretty, and unthread this piece here. In which case, your emergency switch thing will come off. This will slide down underneath the steel, and then it should be connected to the wires, and then you can mess with your wires. That's what this one is. I don't actually like it. I actually do not like this switch. Just because this particular manufacturer is garbage. I think it was $9, and it didn't last very long. It might just be the manufacturer, but didn't last very long, and then guess what? I had to replace the switch. So let me put this one back together, and I'll show you the next switch. This switch is the one I wind up using. It's my favorite switch. I like how it's clear on the contacts, so you can see if your contacts are burned up very easily. Just see if your contacts are burned up, if that needs switched. If you're using your machine and then all of a sudden you have no power, it could be a problem. It just no lights turn up. So that could be true for your router, your laser, your printer, which by the way, I got a commercial grade flatbed UV printer 2 years ago. I'm finally competent enough to start showing you how to fix that and start how to run that. So you'll start seeing that coming in my videos. And then earlier this year, I purchased a commercial grade 4 foot by 8 foot CNC router. I'm going to start showing videos in that as well if I can get the shop to myself. We currently have a full-time staff in and out of the shop. It's getting hard to make videos since I'm no longer doing manufacturing at home and we have our own warehouse. So anyways, sorry, I don't know what happened. But anyways, this one's my favorite. What you're going to wind up doing is, this does nothing. I mean, it does something, but you're going to find unthreading this, you won't be able to. Ghost. This right here, you're going to find, oh, let's loosen this. It won't come out. Why won't this come out? And then you start threading it. If you were coming from an electrical background like I did, you would normally your switches just tighten up right here and they pull out the bottom. Well, that's not the case in this particular one. This one has this yellow thing. Don't pull that out. It's not a pin to hold your mushroom switch on or emergency off on. This push over like this. This comes out. Okay, so here's the inside of the switch, locked, and you can kind of see how it locks into the switch here. And then the only thing this does is tightens down. It might look better if you see it like this. This tightens this down to tighten to the steel of your laser or your router or whatever you use. It doesn't matter. This one you'll see that it has a top mark here, and then there's a top mark here. So you just line top and bottom up, make sure this is open, and you put it in, and then you do that. And then this is now locked, it won't come apart, and that threads down and tightens to the steel or the cavity or the case of the machine. It's my favorite switch. It's the one I would recommend. Now, I saved the worst one for last because this is going to be the one that you're not going to know how to take apart. I ruined my first switch trying to take it apart and figuring it all out. I hate this switch. But now I know how it works, it's no big deal. This is this switch here. So you got this little white thing here. Okay, you see this one's clear, which I kind of like. You can see my contacts. I think you can see it has a burn up on this one. This is a junk one. And there's a good side, burn up side. Works the same as the other ones, off, on, off, on. This came on my very first commercial grade laser that I bought, cheap Chinese thing. And it's a beautiful looking machine, and they put these beautiful switches on, but these things are garbage. These are garbage. The power switches are garbage. The light switches are garbage. The plugs that you plug in and out are garbage. The water sensors are garbage. The power, everything garbage. Except for the motors. I've never had to replace the motor, never had to replace the main board. I've replaced power CO2 tubes. I replaced my power to the laser power tube. I haven't replaced controller. Oh no, wait. I replaced 2 controllers in this machine. This is now a machine I use to engrave my rolling pins. And it's all been replaced with good stuff, which I like this one. And I'll put a link to all of these. They're all can be found on Amazon. All these switchers are like $10. They're not very expensive. So you might get a laser technician to come out, and the one that I know of in Ohio and the surrounding states is Rabbit Laser. They charge like $300. At least they did years ago when I had them come out and fix something for me. It was $300 to come out. Plus the switch. They'll put in a good switch, but the switches are probably like $30 plus $300 to fix it. You can get this for $10 and fix it yourself in 20 minutes. It's no big deal. But anyways, here's the look of this switch. Okay. This guy here, don't pull it out. That's what I did. Don't pull it out. All right. This one, push it. Take this, make sure there's no power. Push that in. Push that in. And then this wiggles out. Push that in. God, these things are stupid. Push that in. There you go. And that comes out. Yeah, hold on. So that one's out. So you can see the action. These 2 here thingies hold your switch in. So the switches just plop in. They're pretty easy. But you can see the action when you apply pressure to that. Kind of opens those up. That's how those work. Push it in. Don't throw them across your shop. Now look at this. That thing's melted up in here too, on this side. The whole contact melted. And the reason why I did this, I'm just taking it for granted because I've replaced emergency switches on all of my machines are being replaced like, I don't know, every 3 or 4 months. I got to replace one, it feels like now. And I might be the owner of the shop, but I'm doing all the repairs. I'm not paying someone $300 to replace a switch that I can do in 20 minutes. That's ridiculous. Well, I hope you find that helpful. I hope to make some more videos coming up here, like I said, with the UV printer. That's a 600 by 900 millimeter UV printer. I've replaced the head. I've had it for 2 years. I swear I've replaced that head about, I don't know, print heads. Probably replaced 10 print heads in that thing. But we use that thing all day long. It's a really nice machine. Or that machine, I always start with the cheap Chinese ones, but that machine it can print some money. And then the router table, I'm starting to get comfortable with that. I've had that for about 6 months now. It's a 4 foot by 8 foot. We're doing carved signs and doing Bigfoot cutouts and stuff like that. And we're in a brick and mortar store that we got to keep full, and it's getting tough. So, yeah. So let's see. Let's figure out my thumbnail, because like I normally do on my videos, I'm going to figure out my thumbnail. Should it be this one here? I got 3 here. Let's see, maybe it should be this one. How do you replace these things? How do you pull these apart? I don't know. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Jay with Jay's To-Do List. Subscribe, please. I'm going to say something on my recipe. You got to rewind it. Let's do it. Cut the spike. Cut the spike to be my views. Till next time.